After traveling over 100,000 miles for every single year for the last 5 or 6 years, I picked up a few travel tips and tricks that helps me maximize my travel. Now in this video, I'm gonna share some of those tips with you, and these are tips and tricks that I do every single time I take an international trip. My name is Max, and I help people maximize their airline miles, hotel points, and credit card points. Remember to hit the like and subscribe button down below, and let's get started. Okay, so let's first dive into some of the tips that you should do before you go travel. And so this means that when you're at home, these are the things that you should do while you're at home before you hop on that flight to go to your final destination. The first thing I always do is I download an offline version of Google Maps. So in the event that if I don't have cell phone data when I land at my destination, I have at least a working version of the local map, and GPS still works if you don't have cell phone service, and you can still try and get around and navigate to where you need to go. And it's super easy to download an offline version of your destination. Just go into the Google Maps app, click on your profile and click on offline maps, and you can specify the area that you want to save that map for, and then it just uses your internet, downloads that map data to your phone. And now when you're at your destination, if you don't have cell phone data, or if you're inside a tunnel or you're underground in a subway and you need to take a look at map in the direction that you need to go, then you have that offline Google Map version. And then while you're at it, if you have Google Translate, also download the offline version of the language of the destination that you're going to as well. So that way you can translate text even if you don't have cell phone data. And doing that is also super easy. You just open the Google Translate app, tap on the language, select the language that you want to download, and you'll see the little download button to the left of it. Tap on that and you can download the offline version of that language. And so speaking of cell phone data, when you're traveling internationally, there's a thing called international roaming, and your cell phone provider might charge you $10 or $15 per day in order to get international data on your phone, which can get pretty expensive if you're traveling for a week or two. That could be like $200 in additional fees from your phone carrier in order to get cell phone data on your phone. A cheaper alternative that I like to use, that I often use, is getting an eSIM. So what you do essentially is that you download an app and you can purchase an eSIM, install that eSIM on your phone, and then that's how you're gonna get data when you're in a different country. I've done a couple different videos on eSIMs, which I'll link down in the description and also up here as well. And so you can go check out that video if you wanna learn more about eSIMs. Next up is that when I'm prepping for travel, I'm very particular with the luggage that I use. One piece of luggage that I've been enjoying using recently is the Nomad Lane bento bag. It's a weekender bag, but not like any other regular weekender bag. The cool thing is that you unzip it and it folds out like a clamshell, which makes it easy to pack the two large pockets on the left and the right. It also has a separate laptop sleeve, and it comes with a toiletry pouch and a tech pouch that also has dedicated pockets for those as well, which makes it super easy to remove your laptop or your toiletries in the event that you go through airport security in a country that requires you to remove those items from your bag. Once you zip up the Nomad Lane bento bag, it has an external pocket where you can store your passport, which makes it easy to grab out of that pocket. And it also has a luggage handle pass-through sleeve as well. And if you're not using that pass-through sleeve, you can also zip the bottom of that up, and it also doubles as a second pocket. So super cool bag, great features and great design. And there's also a mini version of the bento bag as well called the Tomodachi Sling, which is great for your everyday carry when you're exploring a new city. It can carry your passport, your cell phone, and your portable charger so that you have everything you need when you're exploring a new city. So go check out the Nomad Lane bento bag and also the Tomodachi Sling bag, which I'll link down in the description. And thank you Nomad Lane for sponsoring today's video. Now, if you know me, I'm team carry on as much as possible, but sometimes you need to check a bag for an extended trip. And whenever I check a bag, I always make sure I keep an extra pair of underwear, a extra pair of clothes, and all my toiletries in my carry-on or in my backpack. In the event that my check bag gets lost or delayed, I have everything I need for at least one day in my carry-on or my check bag. Or if I'm freshening up at a airport lounge or taking a shower at an airport lounge during a long layover, I have everything I need in one backpack. You never know what could happen with your check bag. Having your toiletries and a pair of clothes in your backpack or carry-on is super important. Next up, when you land at your final destination, avoid these exchange booths. And so a lot of airports have these exchange booths. Avoid them because it's not that good of a deal to exchange your money there. Instead, what you should get is a debit card that you can use at an ATM, and that debit card ideally charges no foreign transaction fees and reimburses you for any ATM fees. Those two are super important. I also made a separate video about this, and you can also check it out up here as well. And so now you're at your final destination. What I like to do when I'm in a new city is I take a food tour or a free walking tour on the first full day that I'm there. The tour guides are typically helpful in answering any questions you have about the city, gives you any tips on the public transportation system, or give you a good orientation of how the city is laid out. You can also ask for recommendations from the tour guides as well, and the tour guides typically have good recommendations. So that's one of my favorite things to do when I'm in a new city. When it comes to trip research and planning, what I like to do is that I can search on Instagram and TikTok and YouTube for some recommendations, and then I would take those recommendations and cross-reference them over to Reddit. Reddit, I feel like, is a little more honest and a little more truthful when it comes to some of these travel recommendations because it has a downvote button. And so if you recommend something that a lot of the community doesn't agree with, then you'll see a lot of people downvote that option, which means that it's probably not a good place to go. And so I like to double check all the recommendations that I get on Reddit to see if it's actually worth going to see that attraction or eating at that place. When you travel, you only have so much time and so much calories or food that you can consume. You want to make sure that you're doing some of the best stuff, and that's where I often find some of the best recommendations, and that's on Reddit. And so now you're exploring the city and you're ready to go home. What I like to do is I like to often pack an extra packable duffel bag in my carry-on or my checked bag. In the event that I don't have enough space in my checked bag, or if my checked bag is too heavy, then I can move some of the stuff over to the packable duffel bag. And packable duffel bags don't take up a lot of space, and it's a good insurance policy in the event that you do too much shopping like we did recently in Japan and Korea, or if your bag is overweight and you don't want to pay some of the bag overweight fees, then you have that backup plan of having a packable duffel bag. And so now that you're all packed up, what do you do with all the extra foreign currency that you might have? Well, I saw this tip online and I tried it recently and it worked like a charm. And so some hotels will allow you to take your cash, apply it to part of your hotel bill, and then you can pay the rest with credit card. This might not work at all hotels, but it's worth asking the front desk and saying, hey, I have an extra 10,000 Japanese yens with me. Can I apply this to my hotel bill? And they'll take that Japanese yen, apply it to your hotel bill, and you can pay the rest with your credit card. That way you're not stuck having to bring foreign currency home and unsure of if or when you're gonna return to the country. So apply some of those foreign currency to your last hotel bill in order to get rid of it. And one tip I also learned recently is that when you land back in the US, everybody knows about Global Entry, but not many people know about the Global Entry mobile app. And so now with the Global Entry mobile app, instead of walking up to the kiosk and having to take a photo, you can take your own photo on your phone, and then you show that photo to the immigrations officer and they'll clear you and you're through immigrations. And so it's an expedited way to get through the already expedited global entry process. And I tried this recently when I returned back from Japan and it worked perfectly. So I recommend you checking out the Global Entry mobile app. That's all the tips I have for this video. Remember to hit the like and subscribe button down below. Comment below if you have any additional tips you want to add or if you have any questions. And thanks for watching. Watch some of these other videos over here that will help you maximize your travel, and I'll see you guys in the next one.